Okay, hi and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our webinar where we will introduce the latest updates and features in MobileNAV 12.0. The topic will be rather technical, but it assumes at least some understanding of MobileNAV, but please don't worry, and those who are new to the product will still enjoy the new features because we will make it in that way. Can we step to the next slide, please? Okay, so today I'm your host, I'm Bertalan Nagy, and joining by my colleague, the Business Unit Director and the Product Mastermind, Tibor Major. As always, we will kick off the session with some recent partner news and updates. And I would like to start with some housekeeping. I really like this analogy because we are cleaning things up, and I can help to put things back where those belong. So that's exactly what I'm planning to do here. So first of all, about this webinar, we are recording this session, and we will share this recording with everyone who has registered, regardless if you are participating or not. If you are not participating, of course, you are not hearing this, so that's just me kidding. Okay, you might experiencing it that we are moving away from Teams to YouTube, so we would really like to hear about your feedbacks regarding what you have experienced during this webinar. So if there are any difficulties or if it's just okay, just give me a thumbs up maybe. We will do a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. So if you have any questions, please feel free to type those into the chat. And after the demonstration, we will address those. Now back to the partner news, some formalities. Please make sure that you receive our newsletters. If you don't, please sign up. You can do that on our website under the Contact Us page. We also publish all the commercials and marketing materials on our partner portal, so make sure you have access to that, to the partner portal. If you don't, please feel free to reach out to us, and we will send you an invitation. The easiest way to reach out to us is via email. Our email address is contact@multiserve.hu. Which is a group email address, so even if I'm not available at the moment, my friends and colleagues can get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, so yeah, that's about the housekeeping part. Now back to the partner news. We have some pricing and licensing updates effective from the 1st of October. So please make sure that, again, check into the partner portal where we publish these. And also, because of our contractual duties, we are publishing these and sharing these details through the email communication list. So again, if you are a contracted partner and you are not receiving any emails from us on a regular basis, at least 4 times a year, then you should suspect you are not subscribed to the communication list. Okay, we are still running an on-premise to cloud promotion. This is for end users who are migrating from the on-premise perpetual license to the subscription model. Because we can only provide you with a subscription license in SaaS. We provide a 30% discount for 24 months. This is very similar to Microsoft Bridge to the Cloud promotion, and which is non-extendable and non-renewable. And the prerequisite is to have perpetual licenses, of course, with active enhancement plan, and a commitment period of 1 year is obligatory. Okay, WMS MobileNAV, I can't really emphasize this product enough. This was a major milestone for the history of MobileNAV. Currently, around 85% of all licenses sold is for warehouse management and logistics. So we really see a potential in this area to advance. You can find the webinar recording of last year on YouTube. Please check it out. If any of the features are of your interest, feel free to reach out to us and let's start a discussion. And last but not least, this year again we are participating and sponsoring at Directions EMEA in Poznan. So if you are there, please stop by at our booth and let's have an in-person chat. That's a rare occasion in our schedule to have that. You can find us at booth S43, and we will do a webinar in the topic of WMS MobileNAV as well. It's a one-on-one session, so we will start from the scratch. Maybe some basic MobileNAV understanding is an advantage, but not really a requirement. And we will also do a roundtable discussion during which we can exchange some experience, knowledge with partners. We can have first-hand feedbacks from you, which is really quintessential for us. So it's quite casual vibes, but a great opportunity to network even. So yeah, if you are interested, we will do that most probably on the 3rd of, at 3 p.m. On Wednesday. So, but we will still confirm that. And yeah, one thing I have left off is that we are preparing with some games, quizzes, skill tests where you can win valuable prizes. So again, I strongly recommend to visit our booth. And yeah, that was my time, I think. So this concludes my part. Now I will hand over the virtual stage to Tibor, and please welcome him.
Thanks, Berton, and hello everyone. As you may have got used to that, I like to start my new release webinars with some kind of recap to the previous release, which was 11.0. If you remember, we had introduced a couple of user experience related features, like we have introduced the home screen styles. We have made it possible to use MobileNAV client application as a card payment and combine it with a card payment solution. So from MobileNAV you can initiate a card payment to the external service. We have also introduced the additional caption or value format, which can basically make our user interface more compact. You can combine multiple fields into one particular field. We have added some cacheable images, propagation possibility, and also the ability to propagate barcode reading capabilities to other pages. And mandatory field indicators. So all these features of 11.0 was focusing on the user experience of MobileNAV. Now let's start with the 12.0, the new release features. The most important feature, from my opinion, is the dynamic layout. This is a very important topic, so we will start with this one. We will talk about improved staging. Multi-select lookup possibility in MobileNAV. We have further extended the mine quick filter with mine and unassigned options. We have implemented a show important only toggle for the client application to temporarily hide the not that important features, similar to Business Central basically. We have made it possible to work with dynamic flow filters. I will also come to that later on. We have further improved the shared device management. So if you have a barcode reader like this one in a warehouse where the users are sharing the devices between themselves, then you can now handle those devices much easier than ever. And dynamic printer selection is also in the warehouse area, I would say. So there you will be able to switch the printers very dynamically during your work. So if you have multiple printers in the warehouse, then you can simply scan them and print them onto that. And we also show you some smaller improvements later on. So let's start with the dynamic layout. This is a very interesting topic. You may know that in MobileNAV you already had a technique, what we have called field control, to dynamically change the user interface or even escalate certain actions with this technique. But that technique still requires some coding, not that much, but still you had to code a little bit. And now what we have done is that we have introduced this dynamic layout concept, which basically makes it possible to change the user interface dynamically, or change the layout dynamically. That's why the name came from, because you can create conditional layouts. So you can create a layout, dynamic layout with conditions, and under that conditions, you can also configure certain actions which you want to apply. These actions can be hiding of a field, making a field read-only, changing the different colors of the list cells or the card cells or values. You can change the row icons on the list. You can even change the caption of a certain field, or you can also manipulate the staging, so hiding a certain stage and so on and so forth. So the action list is quite huge. You can see also on this particular site how many different actions you can choose from. And parallel with that, just as a side note, we have also extended the field control command set, because certain actions was not even possible with field control before, so that we have made it equal, so you can also use these actions like the set page read only with field control commands. Let's see some base config examples. So I will quickly show you some dynamic layout configurations in action. The first of our task was to turn as most of the field control code of the base configuration to dynamic layout as possible. So basically, we have done that in order to let you see and also modify the existing field control commands of the base configuration. So from 12.0 base configuration, you will also have access, or you will also have an easier access to the field control command set via the dynamic layouts. And we have some typical dynamic layouts like the not mine, which basically is a very simple layout. If the document is not assigned to me, then it should be completely read-only. That is just one example. I will quickly show you how that works. Or the not open, same concept. So if the document status is not open, like released, then it should be completely read-only, maybe with certain field exceptions. You can also use the dynamic layout for coloring, for like status coloring. I will also show you that later on. Or you can also color code the tracking status, or track or untrack the status very easily with dynamic layouts. And we have around 100 dynamic layouts in the base configuration already, and we will promise that we will constantly increasing that, because this dynamic layout really makes the base configuration much more easier to understand for the user, because by changing the colors, the dynamic hiding and making the fields read-only, it will really make the configuration quite rich. So I will switch my screen, and first let me show you the not mine. So I will go to the inventory section, to the warehouse putaways, and here if I switch to the unassigned list, here is a putaway which is not assigned to me at the moment, and therefore you can see that only the assigned user ID is editable on this particular card. And if I drill down to the putaway lines, then you can also see that the putaway line is also completely read-only. So I cannot do anything with this particular warehouse document until I assign that to myself. As you might realize, there is a button on the toolbar on the putaway header assigned to me, and if I press it, then via just a single button press, The assigned user ID will be filled with my current user ID, and because thanks to the dynamic layout, now this page read-only is not applied on the UI, so that since it's assigned to me, I can completely modify this document, so I can access the register button and modify the lines like the quantity to handle and so on and so forth. Okay. Yeah, the not open dynamic layout. Good example, sales orders. So if I open up a certain sales order, then you can see that this is an open one. So as you got used to, all the fields on the lines or on the header are modifiable. But if I go to the functions and I press the release button, then everything will be read-only. Maybe just certain exceptions like the comments field or the quantity to ship or quantity to invoice and the posting functions on the sales order header, but otherwise the document cannot be modified, so you cannot add more lines or change the quantity of that. Yeah, you can also see the status coloring on the sales orders, because as you can see in the list, the status released is with the bluish color, but the status open is with green, and that's also applied on the card layout. So here you can also see that the status open is green. So you can basically freely color code the different values based on the dynamic layout settings. And the last example of mine is the warehouse receipts. Maybe. So there, if I go to a certain line and I drill down to the Ethernet cable item tracking field, then yeah, there you can see on the item tracking header that the quantity item tracked and the quantity to handle item tracked is at the moment red. But if I, for example, add a lot here, at that moment, it has created basically a new lot tracking line with quantity 5, and all the quantity fields on the item tracking header is now green because I have fulfilled all the item tracking quantities. So I basically finished and completed the task while defining the lot number, for example, on the item tracking. Okay. Next topic, improve staging. In that area, we have created a new UI element, which we call stage indicator. The stage indicator is try to show how many stages you will have and what is the current process. So which stage you are at a certain point in time, which also again a user experience stuff. So the user will know and see how much work he will he's having as next tasks in this particular staging configuration. But not just the staging indicator, but we have also introduced the stage persistence, which means that you can, from this release, configure a certain staging configuration to preserve or persist the stage, the staging status. You can persist that just on the client application side, meaning that that particular device will keep the staging for a while. How long is that something you can basically configure, because there is a state persistence interval in hours which you can configure on the page, and that can be 1 hour or multiple hours. And you can also configure the system to store that not just on the device, but also upload this staging status to the server and try to persist that somewhere. How you store it and in which fields do you store it is based on a new mobile type, which is called stage state, which is basically a text. But the actual coding needs to be done by you, basically. So you need to create a text field on those records where you want to store the staging somewhere, and just apply 2 lines of code, and then you can also store it on the server side if that is needed by any means. Okay, let's see the staging quickly. So I will go down to the putaways again. I will go down to not the assigned one, but the old one. and I will go down to the bicycle and I will start the staging. So I will first read the barcode of the bicycle. As you can see, it started to increase the quantity by every scan. So let's say I have already scanned 3 times the bicycle, but for some reason I would need to, I don't know, pause my work for a sec. So I don't know, go out for a couple of minutes, or I need to do something different urgently. So I just close this down, this put away line. But if I go back to the previous one, then you can see that the staging gun now is persisted. So both the item number and the quantity handle is green, meaning that these 2 steps of the staging is basically ready, and I can continue where I was left off, and I just confirm the bin code for this particular line, and then I can press register to finish the put away. Also, when you have completely finished with the staging, that is also preserved. So if I go back to the previous one where I have now completed the staging, then you can see that that is also preserved. So the staging is not restarted if I open this put away line back again. And this is capped by 1 hour by default, but you can also configure how long that should happen. Okay, multi-select. Multi-selection was also something which was requested by the partners. Not that trivial to work with that, because Business Central doesn't support multi-selection as such, but still there was certain requirements that we try to fulfill. So we have made this possible. We have introduced this on the already existing relations of MobileNAV configuration. So now you will have a simple checkbox, to be honest, which you can tick if you want to enable the multi-selection. And what MobileNAV will do is that he will use a pipe as a separator for the selected values, and it will upload the selected values with this pipe separator to the server. Of course, if you want to use that on traditional Business Central fields, then you need to disable the table relation. Otherwise, Business Central will throw an error if you try to, I don't know, apply 2 values with a pipe separator. But if you don't have a table relation on a certain field, then you can configure this multi-selection for that, and MobileNAV will upload that like this. I will quickly show that to you on the profile of the contacts. So if I go to the contacts and profile, maybe you know that in the profile you can create a certain question in the profile questionnaire, which basically enabled with multi-selection. That was already possible with MobileNAV configuration, but in a special way, because we have not opened up a lookup, but we have opened up something like a drill down, and there you could execute something like a function to select a certain value, and we did some tricks in the background and so on and so forth. So it was quite tricky, and it was not really like a multi-selection. But now, if you check it, if I open this multi-selection question on, then you can see that MobileNAV opens up a lookup, but with a little bit different UI. So here you will exactly see how many values are selected. So I can select a couple of other options. I'm having a toolbar button called selected only. So if you would have very many different options, then you can also filter this down to the selected only if you want to just review it before pressing OK. On the title bar, you can also see how many selection you have made. And once you press OK, then this value will be uploaded with a pipe separator. Since the profile question is a little bit tricky, that's why it is not persisted like that, but maybe this is a good example to show how multi-selection could be used. And there is one more thing which I would like to just quickly present. If you have a multi-selection field, then you can also drill down to the values. There is a right arrow on the multi-selection line, and if you press it, then MobileNAV will open up the selected values here as well. So when you are drilling down, then you can also do it this way. Okay. Okay, mine and unassigned. The mine filter of MobileNAV was already there, so depending on certain parameters of the user, like the salesperson code or the user ID of the user or the service resource fielder, you could have a mine toggle button on certain list, which you can basically turn on or turn off depending on your scenario. But now we have further extended that, because from time to time we got the requirement to show not just the mine and the all of the records, but also introduce something like an unassigned filter, because in many situations there is a need for not accessing those documents which are already assigned to others, but not me, and just to be able to see a certain pool from which I can take some documents. This is quite typical for in the warehouse area, so certain customers are working in a way that they cannot access the documents which are not belonging to them, but they can assign one from the unassigned pool. So that's why we have created and extended this mine filter with different options. So now, as you can see on the screenshot, you can have multiple options for the mine filter. So how do you want to configure the mine filter? We have the mine and all, which is the old selection, but we also have mine and unassigned, mine, unassigned and all, and so on and so forth. This will depend on basically how the toggle button will work on the MobileNAV client application. And one more new thing, basically two shortcuts, card assigned to me and a list assigned to me. Both buttons will be presented by the client application. You just need to enable it if you want it, and I will show you that later on. It will make the assignment much easier if you want to assign a document to you. So yeah, I just quickly gone through the pictures here. So you can toggle between the mine, unassigned and all, and you can also have buttons on the toolbar. I quickly also show you this on the putaways. So here, this is the default one, so I can only see my putaways at the moment, but if I toggle it, then I can see all the unassigned ones. On the unassigned list, you can also already see a button, which is the assigned to me button, and if I'm pressing that, then that will disappear from the unassigned list, because now that is assigned to me from the next moment. And if I toggle to the all, then you can also see all of the documents, and this is also available on the toolbar. So here, not this one, because it's already assigned to me, but the ones which are not assigned to me, this is assigned to a different user. There you can also see an assigned to me on the card layout. Okay, show important only. This is very similar to the Business Central behavior. In Business Central, you got used to that, you can have a show more or show less toggle on the web client in the different sections. This is very similar to that. We have introduced basically a toggle button on the MobileNAV toolbar on the cards, which the user can switch on or off. The status of this field will be remembered by the client application per page. So once you toggle, then we will show all the fields, or just the most important ones, so to say. But we have also made this even more configurable, because we have also allowed you now to configure not just the fields and the configured toolbar buttons, but also the standard toolbar buttons like the delete or refresh and so on and so forth. So now you can also not just hide them, but now you can also make them important, or just we call it standard or additional. Or you can, or in certain cases, you can also tell that particular toolbar button should just only appear in the view settings if needed. So basically, you can apply this or configure this on all of the card fields, all of the toolbar buttons, even the standard or the configured ones. and the user will just simply press a button on the toolbar to toggle between them. So on the screenshot, so if I'm pressing this on the sales order line, then some of the new field will appear, but not just the new fields, but maybe also some toolbar buttons, like in this case the delete. So let's quickly see that. So back to the sales orders, and I go down to this sales order line, and here you can see that there is this toggle button showing unimportant as well, or show important only. And this button is basically a toggle button, so you can turn that on or off, and the status will be remembered. Okay, next feature, dynamic flow filter. The dynamic flow filter is also a very interesting story, because now, from now on, you can also configure the filters and fill out the flow filters dynamically based on the actual usage. One very nice example I will show you right away, but there are some limitations. Because of technical reasons, this will only work with OData. So if you are using the SOAP protocol, then the dynamic flow filter will not be applied by the client application. It can be in the configuration, but it will be ignored by the client application. But if you are having OData communication enabled, then the dynamic flow filter can work. And the configuration of the dynamic flow filter is very the same how you would configure the normal filters. So basically, you just need to add these flow filter assignments among the normal filters, like on this screenshot. So in the filter configuration, we have added an inventory bigger than 0, which is a flow field, and to feed that flow field, you can also configure a location filter, which is a flow filter with the actual location code from the ad hoc movement. And what we accept here is that when you open up the ad hoc movement, then and you open up the item number for manual selection, then you will only see those items where there is an inventory in that particular location what you have selected for the ad hoc movement. So let's quickly see this in action. So I will go back to the inventory and ad hoc movements. And there I will quickly start scanning. So I will quickly scan the test location and A1 bin code. And now if I'm pressing the items button, then you will see that I'm only seeing just 5 items. And maybe you realize that, for example, the bicycle item is with 1010 pieces. But for example, if I go to the items list and I will search for the bicycle, then you will see that the inventory of the item is much more than that. And that is basically done by the dynamic flow filter, because the dynamic flow filter applied filtering for a test location. And in the test location, I'm just having 1010 pieces of the bicycle, and that's why you are seeing that in the ad hoc movement. Okay. Next topic, improved shared device management. You could already configure or create login configurations in the past with the MobileNAV add-on. So that was basically even a special file which calls MNLC MobileNAV login configuration, and that could contain the most important login parameters for the user, which you could basically import on the device side, or you could also share it with a QR code. So that these two options already existed. But for example, if you wanted to import multiple user login configurations, then you could do that, or you need to do that manually in the past. So you had to, copy and paste or tweak around with this MNLC file in order to create a file which can be imported as one, and that created, for example, 20 login configurations on a device. So now there is a possibility to, first of all, select a couple of users in the MobileNAV user setup and create one MNLC file for all those users. So the MNLC file will contain that. The other option is to specify the PIN inside the MobileNAV add-on, which will mean that this user can have a centralized PIN. So for example, when he will switch devices in the warehouse, then he will have the very same PIN on all the devices, because this login configuration will be imported on all of the shared devices. So he will just be able to log in with the very same PIN number. Before 12.0 release, this has to be set up device by device, and of course if you have changed the PIN on one or the other device, then you have to remember which PIN you have used this or on that device. So now you can also centrally configure the PIN for the users. You can also make the login configuration read-only. That the read-only login configuration means that no one can change that login configuration on the device side. This is for security reasons. If you want to enable it, then from that point on, no one can really hurt those login configuration on the device, so no one can change that those manually anymore. And what is the most interesting in this story is that now we have also enabled the users to use their barcode readers to log in into MobileNAV, because you can log in and also unlock the device with a QR code, with a special QR code, so that you can basically print these kind of QR codes and let the users put those in onto their badges, and when they are trying to log in into MobileNAV, they can just simply scan that QR code, and the login will be initiated. And these QR codes will be able to be printed from MobileNAV add-on, so I will quickly show you right away how that can be done. But on the top of that, we have also introduced the so-called shared device profile configuration, which basically allows you to centrally manage whether a certain device, like a certain shared device, is basically managed from the MobileNAV add-on side centrally. This story is basically about to assign a certain profile to a certain device, and from that point on, if there is a new user in that profile, then his login configuration will automatically appear on that device, even without doing anything by the administrator. So that really helps the administrators, the MobileNAV administrator, to roll out, for example, a new user login configuration to the devices, because all the shared devices can be set up with a certain profile, and from that point on, those login configurations will be automatically created on these devices. So I will quickly show you how that can be configured. I press refresh on this UI quickly. So I go to the MobileNAV configuration, but before that, let's create a new user. So I will create a new user to simulate this situation. So I will press new. I will give it a name like warehouse 8. I will specify a password for this user, a Business Central password, because this particular system is with a nav user password. I will assign a permission set. So I'm ready with the user. I can now go to the user MobileNAV administration to the users. I can edit list. I can add a new user here. This particular new user, warehouse 8. And I quickly copy the configuration from the previous user, and I will assign a profile to this new user. So the warehouse 8 user will have this warehouse advanced online profile. And because this particular shared device, which is near to me, this one, is basically configured for this shared device profile, which is the warehouse advanced online, the next login of any of the users on this device will synchronize that new login configuration onto this device. Okay, so that will happen automatically. But we also need to print out something for this new user. So I will go to the generate login configuration, and I will specify the password for this user. Okay, and I will also specify a PIN, which will be 8 digits. Okay, and the last action is that I will press this print login configuration QR code. This is the new feature here. With that, this is basically a report, an RDSC report, which you can print out from Business Central. This can generate a QR code just for the login. If you generate that just for login, then it will just contain the login configuration name. And additionally, you can also add some credentials. So you can also just add the PIN or the password, or PIN and the password, depending on what you want to include in this QR code. For now, I will choose this PIN and password. And now, if I'm pressing this print and preview, then you can see that this is the new QR code what you can basically print out. So I will quickly print this out to one of our printers. So my colleague will grab that from the printer quickly for me. And since he's doing that, then you can switch screens now. Because what I will do is that I will simply use the scanner and log in with any of the users. I will do and present the login with the QR code first. So this is a different user, not the one which we have just added. I just simply scan this, and as you can see, the login immediately starts even without entering anything. And if I log out, just to present that if the user would manually log in, then it would ask for the PIN, obviously. But this particular login QR code is also containing with the PIN, so that's why it is not asking for the PIN for this time. So, let me log out, because now the synchronization have happened on this particular device. So my colleague just grabbed me this paper from the printer. So this is the new login configuration QR. But before logging in, I'm showing that this new demo warehouse _8 user is also in the login configuration list, either without importing that manually or scanning anything in the client device. So now I'm totally prepared for scanning this new PIN code. And as you can see, the login configuration QR for Warehouse 8 user immediately starts the login process. And of course, this will be a first login, so it will take a couple of seconds, but the device will log in. And this new user, what we have just created inside Business Central, will be able to log in from basically any of the devices, because this login configuration will basically synchronize on all the shared devices in the system. Okay. Okay, so back to my slides. Next feature will be the dynamic printer selection. The dynamic printer selection is also concentrating on the warehouse scenario, or the warehouse usage, so to say. The imagine situation is that you are having a big warehouse, and at certain points or certain corners of the warehouse there are printers. And these printers are identical, so the same label size and same media and so on and so forth. But depending on where you are, you would like to use and utilize the more closest printer possible. And to easily achieve this, the user might want to dynamically switch the actual printer of his preference, depending on where he is in the warehouse at the moment. So for this particular need, we have implemented this new feature, which we call dynamic printer selection. Because from version 12.0 you can basically share and print a special QR code which contains the printer details. This special QR code, which is basically an XML file which contains all the information which is necessary to also import the printer. So even if you don't have that printer on that particular device installed, via just one single scan, that printer can be added to that device as well. So that is also good for that, but not just for importing the printer. You can also change the selection of the printer with this particular QR code. So as you can see on the slide, from the printer settings, you can share the printer with a QR code, you can export the setting, which will be an XML file, and you can also ask that actual printer to print out the configuration QR code of himself, so that is also an option. And as I promised, when you are standing on a certain card, then you can use your device and scan a certain printer to change that. So let's quickly also see that. Please switch screens again. And I'm logging out and I'm logging back again with this warehouse user of mine. So I'm logged in, and what I will do is that let's imagine that now I'm receiving certain things. So I will go to the warehouse receipt. I go to this last line, which is the warehouse receipt line of 19-inch monitors, and I'm having 3 pieces here. I drill down to the item tracking of these monitors, because this monitor is with serial tracking and lot tracking and expiration date as well. So that's why I'm seeing 3 lines. Let's imagine that this has already been filled out by a warehouse administrator or from the device. It doesn't really matter. I don't want to show you this part now, but basically I'm already having some item tracking information, and on the toolbar, as you can see, I'm having some printer button to print out the labels for these devices or these items. And on the caption of the device, you can see that actually now it is saying that I'm having the 12 as the selection for this printer, and by just simply scanning of a certain printer QR code which I have printed onto the printers directly, I can very easily change the actual printer. The user will see something like a notification on his device, and the caption of the button is also changing. And to just prove that it's really working, I press the button now. So now I'm expected to print on this printer, but if on the next moment I am changing that to this 21 and I press this button again, then that printer will print that out. So this dynamic selection or dynamic changing of the printer is possible with a simple QR code reading. And now some smaller improvements. First one is quite important one for support purposes. Maybe you had sometime the problem of exporting a log level, exporting a log from the MobileNAV client application, because you are not able to log into MobileNAV at all. So now what we have done is that it's a very small thing. Now you can also change the log level in the MobileNAV client application in the About window. So if I'm logging out from my client application, then you can scroll down in the About window, and you can see that there is a log level which you can change dynamically. You don't even need to log out from MobileNAV. You can change the log level without doing anything. And there is also an export log button which does similar thing what the export app data is doing, but this is just extracting the log file and putting that into a zip file. So that's also possible even without logging into the client application. Next one is the improved item cross-reference. There we have made it possible to basically utilize the unit of measure or the variant code from the barcode and use that and validate that on a target record. Like if you are standing on the sales order line and you scan a certain barcode, then that variant code or that unit of measure can be written onto that sales order line. But you can also use that on the warehouse documents for validating, for example, that you are picking the right variant, and also one more improvement here is to count with the barcode based on the unit of measure, quantity per unit of measure. This story is about to not just increase by one with every scan, but also take into account what kind of barcode you have scanned in. So that will basically not increase by one, but depending on what unit of measure code you are using. So let me quickly show you that in action. I have prepared with a couple of barcodes. These barcodes containing different unit of measures. And what I will do is that I quickly log in to MobileNAV, and there I will go to the warehouse picks. Assign this to myself, because otherwise I would not be able to modify this, and I will start the staging. So I'm at this warehouse pick line. I need to basically confirm the item first, and if I'm opening up the unimportant ones, then you can also see that the variant code of this particular Antwerp conference table is configured for black. So this pick line should pick black variant code from this particular item. And on these barcodes, I'm also having barcodes with variant code black, and also I'm having some barcodes with variant code white, and so on and so forth. So if I just try to scan a wrong one, then you can see that MobileNAV will throw an error that you have scanned an invalid barcode into the variant code field, meaning that the user scanned a white one in this case, and he tried to change the variant code, but since that is read-only, that is not allowed, and that's why it is not allowing to scan this barcode. But if I'm scanning the black one, then two things happened. It accepted the value first. Second, as you can realize that the quantity handle is not increased by 1, but by 10, because I'm also having some barcodes for the pallet based black items and also pieces based. So if I'm scanning the pallet based ones, then I can quickly increase them by 10s, because I have scanned 5 times the pallets. And if I'm using the pieces one, then I can also increase by 1 if I'm scanning that barcode, which is for the pieces unit of measure code. So this also quite well demonstrates that now we can also use MobileNAV for counting with different variant codes or different unit of measures, and you can also count depending on these settings. And some other smaller improvements. We have improved the sorting. We have just recently realized that there were some Business Central releases recently which has removed certain keys in the tables, and that could cause some problems with the MobileNAV sorting. Now we are much better prepared for that. We have made it possible to configure an open single list item automatically. This feature basically allows you to automatically open up the card view if you filter down the list to just one single item. We have also added the option to configure the auto refresh on open based on the relation. With the previous releases, if you already had some configured filters for a drill down, like you have opened up the physical inventory journal lines from the journal batch, there you already had some filtering, so that's why MobileNAV automatically showed the lines there, which is sometimes good, but sometimes not. So if you have many values on the physical inventory journal, then this may be something which you don't want. So that's why we have now introduced a new parameter on the relation, whether do you want to allow auto refresh on that drill down relation or not. And the default will come from the from the page, and you can easily use that. And the last smaller improvement of ours is the trigger offline sync from code. So now we have new field control commands to start the offline synchronization that is also requested by partners. And just very quickly, a couple of unusual slides, I would say. We didn't really share the roadmap since in the past webinars, but now we are already having plans for the next release, which are quite settled, I would say. The release date of 12.0 is in the beginning of December. That's more or less 100% sure. But we are also started to plan the 13.0, and the 13.0 is already having some improvements planned. Like we will further improve the dynamic layout. We will further improve the profile management to allow much more configuration on the profile level. And what is one important story is this combined list and card view. This is still in design phase, but I'm sharing with you some UI mockups. So in this combined card list view, what we are trying to achieve is to get away from the traditional card list layout. So in this story, you will be able to configure a combined card and list view where you have certain fields from the card, and below those certain fields you can also see some line items in MobileNAV, and you don't need to step away from the card, so you don't need to navigate horizontally in order to access the lines. So this is the free screenshot what you can see on the screen right now. And yeah, we are still designing that, but it's a very interesting topic, and we are gonna implement that for the next release. And back to verse 2, back on, thank you.
Yes, we do have some questions, but before we jump into that part, I really just want to emphasize that we are relying on our partners and the feedbacks when it comes to improvements in the next version. So I really just want to ask everyone if you want to contribute to MobileNAV and the product to become better, share your ideas, and we will listen to you. I promise that. Okay, and now let's jump to the questions because we have a few. First of all, Matthias is asking that, can the field for the mine filter be configured like using a custom field instead of the default assigned by field?
Yes, very good question. Yes, we have already introduced that. So there are basically 2 slots for the custom mine filter. If you check the user setup or the user setup of MobileNAV administration, we have 2 custom fields on the user setup which you can set up, and we have also 2 mobile types for these 2 custom fields. So up to 2 custom mine filter, you can configure whatever you want.
Okay, I hope this answered your question, Matthias, but let's jump into your next one. Again from Matthias. He already received a crown, so I think you are our #1 follower at this point. So was the flow filter not usable before in the existing relation configuration?
The flow filter was usable, but only for only manually. So if you had a list, then you can open up the flow filter configuration for that, and you could apply a flow filter manually there. But this dynamic way of utilizing the flow filters was not possible, and that is what we have introduced this new release.
Okay, cool. Then we have another question from Vishwa Prakash, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Will the login with the QR code work for SSO login? I think that's a single sign-on.
Yes, fully. So basically, the idea there is to import the login configuration either centrally from the MobileNAV add-on side. There you will have everything, and in the MobileNAV previous releases, we already allowed you to save the login configuration on the client device and assign a PIN code for that. So even with the single sign-on, you could basically silently renew your token if you had configured a PIN code for that, and that will work with this new feature set as well. So if you just scan the barcode and there is a PIN for that, then obviously it will apply. What we cannot do is that we cannot apply the password for the single sign-on. So the password of the single sign-on won't work. But once you have entered the single sign-on once on that device, then basically it will try to silently renew that if the PIN is basically met.
Okay, and the next one, will the login configuration carry also any user filters saved? I think that's if that's device specific, or you can move the filters, save filters.
Oh yeah. The save filters were already there. So if you have a MobileNAV device with a certain user where you have save filter created by the user, then you can already save those preferences onto the server side. And from the MobileNAV user setup, you can very easily apply those preferences for the other users. So that was already there. That's not a new thing. That's one thing, and there is also maybe a smaller improvement from the past that you can also configure save filters in the configuration directly, so that is also by default available. So that's not coming with this feature set.
Okay, I don't see any further questions, but just a remark from Matthias that he's glad to have some requested features in the new version. So I think that's a compliment. Thank you for that. And there is one other major improvement that we have implemented that we almost finished in time. So it's
3 minutes.
Yeah, just 3 minutes over. Thank you very much for your attention, everyone. I really appreciate you being here. And yeah, let's keep in touch. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. You know where to find us, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.